welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever. This game is from the Legend of the Stars #1 tourney, the first of 3, maybe 4 tourneys, one every month I believe, and there will be a final. The first 4 tourneys are basically qualification for an end of year tournament. The 4 finalists, or the 4 people who get furthest in this tournament, qualify for the end of year tournament, and also the highest placed under 1900 player is put into the final tournament as well. So this is round 3, 4. This is a losers bracket game, I think. Yeah, it was. And we got 2 strong players, robogear and Nexus Reality, both in around 1900 2k ladder rating, and this is a very common ladder map, so you should definitely see strong play in this particular game. So let's see, we got second land for Robo, we got Labs fighting, and yeah, the Mech Marine is just a much better lab, and 1 HP, the landscape escapes. If he hadn't, then this Mech Marine would be regenning some health right about now. Robogear likes to do this because usually in a lot of build orders the 3rd engineer will go on a reclaim order, and if the Mech Marine gets there and kills that engineer, you can completely fuck your opponent's build. But not this time. It was spotted by Nexus's lab. I guess he had the same idea, but he was much slower about it. So they met here, and lab gets cut out by a mantis. Crisis averted. The scout is just gonna get some intel. Can also break these 3 groups. There are actually 3 groups here to grab. They're not that good though. So pretty much same build for Nexus. Yeah, I think Robo had 5 pigeons here, but went for the more normal 4. You don't really need that 5th one. Robo does have a scorer lead here, so perhaps he got a bit more reclaim. His engineer, I think Nexus is only starting to reclaim these small rocks right about now. So Nexus is gonna walk all the way to the fire expansion to secure that, and this NG is gonna grab all these mexes. Yeah, this is pretty much the exact same build that I do, so good job stealing it. Don't know why Robo didn't try to get this, finish this factory. You can definitely afford it, and he definitely doesn't need the power so badly. I mean, if he was going for maybe an air factory here, then I would understand rushing that hydro a bit faster, but it doesn't really make sense. He can put the mass into a factory instead. Nexus, meanwhile, yeah, the hydro's a bit later, and he also probably better timed, and he has this factory out. So let's see, speed it up a little bit. Robo is sending most of his units to this side because this side is going to have an ACU on it. Also, actually, Nexus is sending quite a few units to this side as well, because it's quite easy to slip units past the ACU around here. If you just get this air scout above it, above the ACU, you know where he is. It's quite easy to skirt around. That's why you'll see this PD go up, because ACU can't catch everything until he gets his factory down here probably, and then moves the ACU up here, and then you should be able to cut out most units looking to move in. Robo does cut out a raid, and yeah, he has units in support, so this mantis isn't going anywhere. Meanwhile, they did actually get this tank through, but I don't see any dead engineer. So don't actually know what that is. Oh, that's Snoop maybe. On the left, Nexus can't get through. He's cut off too many strikers in the area. So Nexus seems to be falling behind into on land units, and it's not the biggest problem on this map because it is quite turtly. You can just defend the groups of mexes, but if units get in behind you, they can do quite a bit of damage, deny a few mexes, and it'll take you a while to clean them up. That said, Nexus can kind of mitigate his lack of T1 units because Robo is kind of letting his tanks die in unfavorable trades, like here. Here he's probably going to lose these tanks, although he should get this NG. These are good spots to put tanks if you have the opportunity, because there's usually going to be engineers there trying to edge build onto the plateau. These tanks did very well to slip past. They already have 3 kills between them. These mexes are going to go down. This mex, this NG, and that's going to can probably just continue on and get even more kills. Here we see a small army of mantis gonna get killed. No, he should have just run over those. It would have been a good trade for Robo. Can kill very effectively. You don't necessarily need to be more efficient in terms of your economy management to get a unit advantage. You can do it by taking better fights and trading favorably with your units. So Robo's gone T2. We don't see any. We see 1 T2 max from him. A couple more upgrading. Actually, okay, he's gone 4 upgrading at the minute. 2 almost finished, and then 2 a bit further behind. So we got T2 land, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 factories upgrading to T2 support. So you can see units are very thin on the ground for him right now, but that's okay because Nexus is also very thin on the ground with units. So he can completely afford to do this, and it's going to give him an advantage in the T2 stage when all those factories start producing pillars at the one time. So once each factories produce like maybe 3-4 pillars, he's gonna have a serious army. Meanwhile, Nexus, I don't see any T2 support factory. Okay, there's a T2 support factory, and there's another one. So that's 2. He has so few factories. It's quite remarkable how few factories he has. So let's see the eco then. He has 3 T2 mexes. Almost finished upgrading these. There they go. So he doesn't have a massive eco lead even. And there's going to be a lot of pillars coming towards him very soon, so let's see how. Okay, 10 minutes and got the factory, T2 factory upgrading to T3. So we're going to see loyalists. Unsurprisingly. Excuse me. It's going to make some runs in the meantime because there are going to be a lot of pillars. Again, units get into the back and red. Yeah, you realize there's no point trying to chase that with his ACU. He's never going to catch them. I think the best way to deal with these units right now is actually bombers. Since the bombers got changed, they're definitely much better at cleaning up units that get in behind you. So definitely would just throw a few bombers out there and you can clean this up pretty quick. I have a lot of pillars moving in, and Nexus doesn't really want to fight them because, well, he does actually have a lot of overflow, so he can overcharge those quite easily, but he has no upgrade, so has to be a bit careful about it. Robo is aiming for these T1 mexes, but they're not upgrading, so Not a great target, but if they were upgrading, it would have been very effective kills there. On the plateaus, you can see Robo has one, Nexus has the other. That could become very important in the later game. And there's T3 done for Robo as well. I think he knows well what Nexus was gonna do, seeing as he picked Cybern on this map. Actually, did he pick Cybern or did he go random? There's a lot of random in this tournament, for whatever reason. But let's assume he chose Cybern, so that pretty much means he's gonna go for T3 rush, do some Loyalist, or he's gonna do T2 air, or he's gonna do both. But UEF is very strong on this map. Once you get to T3 stage and get those Percies out, they're just gonna kill any other T3 land unit that's around. Lots of eco. So we got 10 T2Xs. 2 more on the way here. Maybe some in the back? No? Okay. So we got 10. 12 now. We have 3 Percies spread out to try and deal with any Loyalists. These walls, very important, so that the Loyalists are basically forced into range of the Percy. You can see the huge range, and in 2 shots they will kill the Loyalist. So yeah, the Loyalists are not effective at the minute. And okay, there we go, bricks. These factories are still making Loyalists. I would just basically stop making Loyalists completely, or just mix in a few and just mostly go for bricks, stealth, and the odd Loyalist, and maybe some Trebs, but you'll have to wait until the armies get a bit bigger, so it's actually more than just 1 or 2 Percies to aim at with those Trebs. Can kill the T2 army very effectively though, so maybe a Treb wouldn't go astray at this stage of the game. Now if he wants to use Loyalists, he's gonna have to micro really hard. Here we have a drop, and it's not being microed, so Arty is a good thing to have on these plateaus to just instantly attack any drop, and if they're not being microed, then they're going to take a lot of damage. Oh, that's unfortunate. This Loyalist obviously attacks units before it attacks buildings, but it can't actually hit those engineers down there, so could have been killing this factory instead, but this Loyalist is just wasting all its DPS into floor of that cliff. No TMD in the middle, I notice. That's a pretty big hole that you can shoot TMLs through. Speaking of TML, there's a TML launcher for aim at the TMD. I mean, if you make TML and you have 3 in the clip, you could just aim at the TMD. There goes that TMD now. But there's more. Still, 5 T2 Mexes go down. That's an excellent drop of a brick there. Is that a... That's probably a stealth deceiver, so probably a stealth drop there. Really nice one, it worked out perfectly for Nexus. I don't see any TMD here. Oh, he could just kill both these PGens, and that would be a serious problem for robogear. I think Nexus missed a trick there. "15 Percy's out." and Robo wants to get aggressive with them. This is just an awful formation. He needs to choose a side to move on, left or right. Well, left or right. And if Nexus had spotted this, he could actually just run over one side. Well, he could try, but now he's lost too many units. He could have tried to basically fight half the army at a time. Just getting another drop away. I guess that's where his focus has been. It's been on these drops, and he got another few kills here. But I think they were T1 mexes. Was a T2 factory there, so that's not a bad kill. Not sure if those mexes were upgrading. Oh, he left the deceiver behind, so you can just reuse the deceiver and transport rather than just the transport, of course, because you don't really need the deceiver once you drop those units there. On the right side, we have no such finesse. We don't need drops. We just need to walk in with Percy's and kill some T2 mexes. So those are nice kills, and Nexus has now moved to Corsairs. He's going to try and finish off these Percys, but they're getting very close to the P-gens, and that's not upgraded. Oh, the Corsair is now doing friendly fire damage to its own P-gens. They're both extremely low. There's already one P-gen gun down here. Oh no. Oh my god. These 3 Percys still alive. Nexus dropped in a couple of bricks to help out. And now the Corsairs move in, and they should be able to finish them with the help of the bricks. And on the left we saw more T2 mexes dying to Percy pushes. Tons of reclaim on the map now. A lot of it around Nexus's base, but he did take a lot of mex damage. There's 3 more T2 mexes down, and there goes the Percy. So nice attack there. Robo did a lot of damage, and oh, that was loyals, can't do much. But if these two had gone down, let's just see the power situation. I mean, he hasn't actually rebuilt any of that power that he lost yet, so he would have been in a bad way. And I mean, it's the most important thing to do when you are attacking is actually to damage the power, because then the reclaim you left is pretty much inconsequential for a certain period of time, because they don't have the power to use the mass. So he definitely missed a trick. He could have sent something in here to finish these P-gens, and it would have been huge. More raiding. It's another stealth drop, I think. 1 T2 mex is down. There goes another. Still some mantis knocking around somehow. I'm not sure where those are being built from, but you know, there we go. Okay, T3 mex over halfway done. Oh, let me just catch up here. We got two T3 mexes already complete. Meanwhile, Robo has a total of 0 T3 mexes and has lost mexes in his base, as we saw earlier. So, does he know? Does he know that Nexus has T3 mexes? Oh, that's a tongue twister. Yeah, he should know. He's scouting directly over them. So what does Robo need to do? Well, I think he needs to park half his inties on one side and half his inties on the other to stop these fucking stealth drops that are just killing so many T2 mexes. And I think we need to see probably T3 air pretty soon from somebody, and Sam's. Looks like that's RAS upgrading. Robo hasn't started rest. He's gonna need more PGens before he does it. He does have a T3 NG out, so that's probably for a T3 PGen and or Sam's. Let's see the reclaim numbers. Pretty even considering how much was dumped on Nexus's side of the map. I guess there were quite a few bricks in and around Robo's base. Still some wrecks to grab, but most of it seemed to end up on Nexus's side. I guess he just hasn't actually grabbed it all yet. There's a Percy wreck and still some T3 wrecks in front of his base, some T2 wrecks over here. No, T3 in fact. 27 Percys at the minute and only 17 bricks and barely any loyalists. In fact, one loyalist. So Robo has a huge advantage. I mean, if it was 17 each, he would have an advantage. But he has almost double the number of Percys compared to bricks. So if he doesn't make it count now, he's not going to be able to make it count because Nexus is going to pull away with these T3 mexes. It is definitely time to attack once again for Robo, and he's pulling back his Percys while pushing with these, so that just allows Nexus to reroute units wherever he needs because there's no pressure on this flank. If these Percys are up here, these ones are in a solid position, but Nexus can send his reinforcements to the right. And although he's losing mexes, there are going to be a lot of dead Percys for him to suck up afterwards, so I'm not sure if this is going to be a favourable trade. Meanwhile, we do see ASF's out. Now this group of Percys is getting very far with not much, oh no, not much resistance, and they take out that T3 PGen. Oh my god, he's gonna take out the other one, isn't he? Surely. One more volley. Oh, there it goes. 2 T3 PGens killed by those 4 or 5 Percys. And more T2 PGens going down. Oh. Oh fuck. And yet, he still has 2k energy? How is this even possible? How much energy was he wasting? Did he perhaps pause? Yeah, okay, he paused T3R. So actually not that bad. He pauses T3R. This T3 pigeon is building pretty fast. He doesn't. Where's the T3 NG? Oh yeah, nice. So he started this one, let the NGs finish it, and then went off to start the other one. Yeah, he can't quite afford to restart his T3 air production. Now Robo moves in with his inties and clears out all of Nexus's interceptors. Next, yeah, needs to protect his offensive air units, but his ASF are gonna probably lost a few ASF there to the Inti Cloud, but now there's just not enough Intis around, and I think there's some anti-air down here. Yeah, we got some Myrmidons, and there's some of Robo's own ASF. I think it's pretty unwise to send those in. They're just kind of suiciding SAMs and enemy ASF. Bit of a clusterfuck of units here. That's a huge amount of T3 engineers and T1 engineers. I'm not sure what they're doing there. A lot of SAMs, but they're all in the base. I would definitely just, stick a SAM on either side and just end any thoughts of drops. 35 Percivals. 23 bricks. Nexus is going for the T1 arty spam approach to try and deal with these. Only problem is he'll kill quite a lot of reclaim, but it's pretty effective versus Percy's. They have no titans mixed in, and no titans or pillars mixed in to kill those arties effectively. But now this brick army is fucked. It lost its stealth, and also there was a bit of a stall, so the stealth wasn't working. This Percy army is doomed. I'm not sure where the flak is. I mean, there've been Corsairs killing these Percivals for 15 minutes, well, 10 minutes, and still no flak is accompanying these Percys as they move in, or very few flaks. So this brick army is annihilated, and the Percys continue on. Where's he gonna go with them? Yeah, okay, he just retreats. I think that's a good choice. He could send 1 or 2 on, but then again, they'll probably just die to Corsairs. Now, we did see that an XP is built. That's a mega, so Robo done a lot of damage. Okay, there he sees the mega. He should have an omni sensor, I think, so that he can keep tabs on all of this shit. It's pretty late in the game, and he has the E income to support it. On the cliff, said this might become an issue in the later game, and it is. This is never going to get rebuilt, pretty much. Once you get some T3 arty in the cliff, you can get some mobile shields to protect them, and then maybe build a SAM or 2 on there as well. Should have tried to take this back as well. Okay, the mega is pushing forward. It has pretty much no support. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Robo should be able to finish this fat boy. But even here, he has 20 Percys. 20 Percys versus a mega. I mean, he has to try and stop this mega. He has to buy time for this fat boy to get complete, because even if it gets complete and he has to retreat back this way, is that going to be enough? He has to get enough time to finish it, and finish it while it's still out of range of the megalith. I'm not sure why he's moving the Percys over here. I think he needs to fight, force the mega back, even if he's gonna lose Percys for it. And over here, now the T3 units are going to be used to apply pressure on each flank, so that the Percys have to be split. Okay, there we go. The fat boy is done, but the mega is very close to it already, and actually the mega is going for the T3 P-gens, and there's that's pretty much all of Robo's power here, and the mega is just going to focus it. And actually, those explosions did damage to the HQ and the support factory, and there goes the HQ as well. The mega just goes down. The Percys completely destroyed it, but Robo has lost 7,500 power income. Can he actually? He has SAMs, so maybe there's some chance for him to survive here. Get this 27,000 reclaim, rebuild his HQ. GG. I guess he didn't believe. Let me see. Let's see. Did Robo have any T3 maxes? He had a single T3 max. He had Sam, so he was gonna do okay versus whatever strats Nexus was gonna use, or Corsairs. Nexus meanwhile had 12 T3 maxes. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. I think he could have played this out. I mean, if you look at the armies, we have 23 bricks and we have a mega. Meanwhile, we have a fat boy and we have 31 Percivals. So there's still definitely, I think, a chance for Robo. I mean, he already had this PGen back up. He can rebuild the other one. He has a lot of reclaim to work with. And he has a lot of build power here. He could easily get a new HQ. So, I think it was worth a shot. But, yeah, there you go. Was huge damage from that, killing 3 PGens and the HQ. As I said earlier, when Robo was pushing with some Percivals and almost killed all those PGens, that's exactly what Nexus managed to do, kill the T3 PGens so that Robo couldn't actually use the mass straight away, and also killing the HQ means that Robo can't use most of his build power, pretty much. It basically makes most of his build power unusable, which was these T3 support factories. So that was just too much for Robo, and threw in the towel. So, GG.